Use computer.
Okay, hello everyone. For Australia, it's good morning. For me, it's good evening. And for the Brazilians, they are here from Brazil, it's still good evening, let's say 7 p.m. All right. So today we have a special guest. She's a Czech girl who lives in Australia, and we met several years ago working on the cruise ships. We had lots of good time, just partying and working hard. And we kept in touch for all this time. And sometimes we talk for a while and then we disappear and then we start talking again. And it's always lots of fun. So, anyhow, I'm going to let her introduce herself. And please ask your questions soon because I'm sure 1 hour is not going to be enough. And she has a child and she's busy. She's not going to stay 1 minute longer. All right. Okay, girl, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Andrea. As Simon said, I come from Czech. I started traveling probably straight when I was in high school. I always had some boyfriends living around Europe and living with them. So my first away from home was in Croatia. Then I lived in Italy. Then I lived in Germany. And then I decided I would like to go somewhere overseas. And this cruise ship uh, came along. So I stayed about 5 years working on a cruise ship where I also met my now husband, who is from Tasmania, Australia. And after 5 years of cruise ship, he had enough. So he asked if I would like to try to live with him in Australia. So we came to Melbourne. And yeah, we're still here. So now it's probably, I don't even know, probably like
20
15
years for sure.
years. Yeah.
Yes, girl,
Yeah.
you're more Australian than he is.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
And yeah, we, at some stage we decided let's try to live in Czech as well. So we went for 1 year to Czech, which extended for 3.5 years because I got pregnant and I decided I want to have my pregnancy and having a little baby back with my family. And then we came back when he was about 2.
Okay, so it's been 9 years now. He's
Uh,
or 7. How old is he again?
yeah, he's gonna be 9.
Oh, yeah, 7 years. All right. Andrea, are you ready to answer some questions? Can we go
Oh
ahead and
yeah,
start?
100%.
All
Yeah.
right. Please raise your hands and go ahead. Aura or Nikki, preferably. All right.
She's on mute.
Yeah,
There's
I
some
think
hands.
that she's on mute, Aura. You're on mute, Aura.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Oh, she's gonna have.
Wait, am
Okay,
I
now we
now?
can hear.
Now, yes,
Yes.
yes.
Okay. My laptop is very dumb and it doesn't work without earphones. But I wanted to ask, did you stay in the Czech because you wanted to give birth there because you preferred the conditions, or was it just because it just ended up planning that way, or was it because you liked the
Okay, so
birthing
like
conditions?
there was kind of like no planning at all. It was one little surprise. But yeah, well, firstly, I felt like I was an old mother. I was 36 when I was pregnant, when I realized I'm pregnant. So kind of everybody gives you warning, you old mother, everything can go wrong. And I kind of felt more comfortable about check um doctors and everything. Plus, I would understand if there is anything going wrong. Because if Australians tells me some my health issue or kids issues, I might just not even know what they're talking about. And 100% there is the family around because in Melbourne we live alone. Like Nathan's family is not here; they live in Gold Coast. My family is not here, so we don't have like grandmas to help me or any family at all. So yeah, probably that was the biggest point.
All right. I think she nailed your question, Aura. Nikki, you have a question about Australia or Czech Republic?
Yes, I do actually. Um, would you much rather prefer living in Australia, or is there anywhere else that you found more comfortable?
Well, I personally love living in Czech, but I was always kind of like feeling like I want to travel and explore. My husband is okay to be in Czech for several years, but I don't think he could actually live in Czech. I don't think he would ever learn my language, which is probably a bit harder to live in a country when you don't speak the language. And he's a big AFL fan, so he would not live without his footy. And I like that 10 minutes drive, we have ocean, and Czech is Lockland. And I also was thinking for my son, like Czech schools are still fairly strict, and you learn so much stuff you don't need, and it's a bit more like, you have to do what
Yeah.
you have to do. And I feel like Australian is very easy and like fun, and just like, as they say, Australia is very laid back. I can feel it here. Like when I lived 3.5 years back in Czech, I felt a little bit of the stress and things, even though I had the support of family and everything. But here, seriously, like everybody's chill. School is chill. Nothing really, anybody get bored. So I thought it might be better for my son to grow up here, plus also having English as a first language, which I'm a little upset that he is not that great in Czech language, but I'm trying. My fault. I should be probably stricter about speaking with him Czech, at least me. But it's hard when you have English speaking husband and the son actually prefers or finds easier his language too. So go back. But yeah, I think our third favorite country is actually Brazil. We went to Brazil, I mean, South America for our honeymoon, a bit delayed, not straight away after we got married. And we absolutely love Brazil. So yeah, I'm not really sure if we could live there, but like, yeah, and also I would say Italy from Europe. Italy and Brazil are our two top countries, probably for living or staying for a bit longer than holiday.
Wow, Andrea, are you a salesperson at all? You have a room full of Brazilians and you say you want to live in Brazil. Come on. Oh, that was great. That was great. That was great. Anyone else has a question?
Are you working? Are you working right now, Andrea? How you pronounce? How's the right way to pronounce your name? Because your name is Czech, and how can I pronounce it correctly?
My
Andrea.
name? Oh,
Yeah,
okay. So if you want to say Czech, it's Andrea.
Andrea. Okay.
And you mean yes, sorry. It's actually there is how Czech people call me. It's Andrejka.
Ah, there you
Andrea.
Kind
go.
of like a nice way to say Andrea. Yeah, usually
Oh,
when you have a kid, you call them like a nicer way than your own name.
yes, we have that in Brazil as well.
Yeah, like my
Yeah.
name is very kind of like hard. Like not even now, any Czech person would call me Andrea. That would be only if they would be upset with me or something. So it was really hard for me actually get used to that. English speaking people would call me my name, but on the other hand, they pronounce it a bit different. Like in Australia, everybody would call me Andrea, which doesn't sound that hard, I would say. But yeah, my name is Andrea, and in Czech, everybody would call me probably Andrejka.
Okay. So how long have you been living? You just live in Melbourne when you came to Australia. That was
Yeah.
the only place that you lived.
Yes. Yeah, I think we came to Australia about 2008. So from about 2008, I live in Melbourne. Yeah.
Okay.
My husband comes from Tasmania, so we visit a lot of Tasmania. His family lives in Queensland, in Gold Coast, and used to live in Sunshine Coast. So we visited those places fair bit as well. But yeah, we stay usually in Melbourne, and if we actually do some traveling, we do it outside Australia. So not that much
Yeah.
Australia so far, but planning to.
Yeah. I think that you remember, Simone, you have a guest
Mhm.
from Tasmania. I don't remember her name, but that was
Romy was that.
incredible place. Yeah,
Yeah,
Tasmania.
yeah. I love
Yeah.
Tasmania. My
Yeah.
husband's parents actually are planning now to move back there, so we're probably going to be doing more Tasmanian visits than Queensland ones.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to put the let me see if I get the map of Tasmania in just a minute. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
You're gonna share a screen with Australia and Tasmania.
Yeah, I think that you can. I can't put the map on the screen, Simone,
Yeah.
because I'm
Yes, yes, go ahead,
recording.
go ahead.
Yeah.
Milan, you have a question?
Hi, I would like to ask you a question. Is this the true, Andreika, about this scary animal in Tasmania that is called Tasmanian devil? There's
Well,
some there.
they do have Tasmanian devils, but they actually almost extinguished because of cancer. So it's kind of like a big rat, but like really big, it's size of a cat. And when it show the teeth, it looks a little scary, but you know, if it's running around, it just looks cute. You see it usually just in the zoos, so it's not really scary. But yes, they have a sharp teeth. They are black giant rats. But yeah, if you see them in a zoo, they're just cute.
Australia is known that have some scary insects, some very poison, uh,
Um,
I don't know,
if,
snakes,
yeah,
spiders.
yeah.
Do,
There's
do
a lot of
you have
spiders.
some contact with this kind of stuff?
Yeah, there's a lot of spiders. Not so much in Melbourne. Definitely not in a center of Melbourne. That's where I live. So I don't come across it every day. But yeah, if we go to visit like friends who lives in a houses in the suburbs, or mainly when we go Queensland, Sunshine Coast, Gold Coast, they have like a tiny red spider. I mean, with the red cross. And that is everywhere. It's hundreds of them. And if that bites you, supposedly you die within 2 hours. I've seen them, never got bitten. But yeah, scared of spiders, definitely. I was actually always scared of spiders, even though we don't have poisonous one in Czech. So now at least I feel like I had a reason to be scared of them living in Australia. But yeah, definitely don't have to have them around. I was actually cleaning my balcony yesterday and I came across quite a few. So yeah, I was very careful when I saw we have spiders on the balcony.
All
And
right. Andrea, do you see the map?
yes, yes, I do.
Okay, Renato, can you please zoom out a little bit so we can see Tasmania as well?
I'll just move it up.
Yeah, so we can see both. Zoom out. No, 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 no. You're zooming in. Zoom out. Yes. So you see New Zealand
Yeah, so my
on the
husband comes
right
from
side. Renato, a
my,
little bit more. Zoom out a little bit more. So they can see how far it is. Okay, so you see New Zealand a little, and then Tasmania, you see? Do you guys see that? So her husband is from Tasmania, this little island just below Australia. And a couple of weeks ago, I think, or even a month ago, Renata was here with me. We had a session with a friend of mine who lives in Tasmania, and she was telling us so many stories about the islands. But like this question that Milan just asked about the Tasmanian devil, Renato, we knew already about it, about the extinction and everything. So anyhow, where is Melbourne? Renato, can you please
above
go to
Tasmania.
Melbourne there on the south?
It's
So
just above
that's where she
Tasmania.
lives. And then, Andrea, please tell us, when you go to Tasmania, do you take a ferry or you do fly?
There's a ferry, but it takes
Mhm.
quite a long time. We always fly. Plus,
So you
we
fly.
always going to Hobart. That's where my husband is. You can see
Yes.
Hobart there as
You
well.
see there is the
Yeah, so
capital
it's kind of
of the
yeah,
island
it's kind of on the other side of the Tasmania.
in the west, right?
Mhm.
Or east. There is east of Tasmania, where and then when it comes to accent, Andrea, do they have the same accent a little bit, Tasmania and Australians, or it's really different?
Well, Tasmanian English. I mean, they have a lot of. I would not say even accent. It's probably they have like a slang.
Oh,
Let's say from the beginning when I was in Australia, if we went to Tasmania and my husband would speak with his school colleagues, like friends talking about something that was whatever, I would just not even understand them. Like they would use funny words with funny accent. But yeah, now it kind of doesn't bother me. Like I can, like they're coming for visits and stuff. But yeah, occasionally they still would use, and I can hear that they not from Melbourne. Yeah. So yeah, it is a little different.
Why almost all the Australia is painted white? Is it possible that this is all desert?
Yes, it is. That's why there is so few, like Australia is bigger than Europe, but we have, I think, about just 25 million, or I'm sorry, I don't know how many, but I think very low amount of the people, because people actually live just pretty much in a city. It's like, and a few small villages in between. But most population is actually around Brisbane, Sydney, Canberra, Melbourne,
Just in
Perth,
the coast
Adelaide,
then.
yeah. And then it's like the whole thing is actually empty. So yeah, there is not that much where you can live.
Okay.
Okay.
Kelly, go ahead. Do you have a question?
Yes, yes. Always I heard that Australia it's like Brazil, but in another side of the world. Can you agree with the sentence? No. What's your opinion, like an Australian person?
No, like I find Brazil and Australia fairly different. I think Brazil's got its own something. Like, if you come to Brazil, you see a lot of typically Brazilian people. You get Brazilian food, you have Brazilian nature. But let's say living in Melbourne, it's a mixture of everything. Like, let's say Australians live usually in suburbs or far away from the city. I live in a city. And let's say my son goes to school where white people would be minority because there's such a big mixture of everything else. So same thing is with the food. Like, you don't get really walking along the street seeing Australian food, It's just like it's Italian restaurant, Mexican restaurant, Thai restaurant, Malaysian restaurant. So I would say it's very different. To the saying being similar is maybe just the fun part and easygoing. Like I find Brazilian part as well, but I haven't lived there really. But I found Brazil is really, we have a little peeker again. My son is peeking from the balcony.
Do you guys see him on the back? It looks so dangerous there on the window. He's outside. Do you have a balcony or something?
Yeah, the balcony goes along the window.
Oh, I see. We cannot see it from here, huh, guys?
Yeah,
Do you
so I
understand what
find
I'm talking about? He's
so I
there
find
in the window.
Brazilian are also kind of bit laid back, like to have a drink, like to have a food, like the beach, and that's something that Aussies are too. But other than that, I would just like not really compare that much. I don't know.
No.
Barbecues outside. Do you
Oh
guys
yeah,
do lots of barbecues?
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
that's also
Every
another
park,
similarity.
every park's got a Barbie here. So
And
yeah.
and the weather, what do you think? It's really
Well,
like Brazilian weather.
well, in Melbourne we have pretty long, I would say, not pleasant really winter. Let's say from Melbourne, we have about 2 hours drive from mountains, but lately there is not that much snow. But yeah, you can go like skiing 2, 3 hours drive, which used to be for about 2, 3 months snow up the mountains, but like last 2 years we were trying because my son, when we were back in Czech for one Christmas, he learned how to ski. And he really loves winter. So we were trying, but it's just like so hard and so expensive in Australia. And in a summer, we have like very dry and also unpredictable summer here in Melbourne. So the weather is not great in Melbourne, I would say. Like you need to be really lucky, have a perfect day. Not too hot, not too windy,
Not
And
to take a beach, for
yeah, and
example,
they say
to go to
also
the
like,
beach.
yeah, and they also say like in one day you have 4 seasons, Sometimes I would say even in 1 hour you have 4 seasons. Like it's just so easy here to drop or rise temperature 10, 15 degree. just because of the turning wind, because either it's coming from the lands, where is the desert, as we just spoke, and it comes really hot wind and it's like blowing a fan in your face, or it turns from Tasmania, where, you know, it's freezing.
Oh, it's to comfort you. Brazil is so like this.
Okay,
Nowadays
okay.
we have three,
Yep.
4 weathers on the
Okay.
same day.
So maybe that's the part where Brazil and Australia, like when I was in Brazil, it was beautiful weather. So, but yeah, as I said,
Yes.
I just like a little bit longer than 2 weeks. So you don't explore that much, right?
Oh, no
Say
problem.
hello.
Well, go. I think it's this. Thank you.
Okay, Jean. Guys, he's my French teacher from Ivory Coast. Can you believe that? He's all the way in Africa. Okay, go ahead, ask a question. Okay.
Okay, my question is, I would like to know if there are different accents in Australia. I would like to know if there are different accents in English in Australia.
Jack, do they have different accents in Australia? Not really, huh? Well, just because there is so many nationalities living, let's say, in Melbourne, you have a lots of different accents because of where they come from. I would say, yeah. But let's say second generation of like being born here, they kind of losing the accent. Like, let's say my husband says that Czech has accent, but not Czech accent. Like that he speaks more, let's say, like American. But like they might sound tiny bit different, but I don't really hear it that much. Mainly what I was told, and you can see, let's say, in the movies, if they come from a city or if they come from like village, like really village. Australians call it bogans. So kind of like you can hear a bogan accent, which means like really village people, which I would call also maybe some of the Tasmanian accent, what I was talking about. It also kind of sound like that. But other than that, I'm not really aware of accents much, no. It's not like
Okay,
America where they have like each part's got. Yes, darling.
okay. Yeah, only the official language is only French. We have another language apart apart from English.
Well, nah, here everybody speaks just Australian English.
I would like to know what is the difference Australian English and American English.
Okay, so for me, English sometimes I would say is really hard to understand, and they use way more words. American English is like when you put a hot potato in your mouth and you speak English. And Australian is something in between. It's kind of easy to understand and doesn't use that many words. Like I would say Australian English and American English are very similar. Just you take out the hot potato.
Yeah.
No,
We should
Andrea,
see
I
Crocodile
think like
Dundee.
Andrea, I think like what Jean wants to know is like we talk about Aborigines, right?
Yeah.
This local people,
Yeah.
they still have their own dialect or language.
Yeah,
Correct?
I never really met one, like personally.
Okay, no,
Like
I
I haven't
understand that,
spoken
but
with
in
one. So
Australia, are they recognized as a race still? Do they have anything to say? Is there like they're considered a second language?
yeah, now
Oh.
it's a big thing, this recognition of actually Jack can tell you about that. They're now learning all about it at school.
What?
About Aborigines and Islanders.
I
No?
was just learning about like
About what? Yeah, no, now there's a big thing about this big change that yes, they get recognized, they have their voice. Yeah.
However, the language is still is not. So is it
No,
still just English, official language, and that's it?
yeah.
Is it clear, Jean, for you? Is it clear when she says that? Oh, he's out.
Yeah, it's clear.
So it's
It's
just one
clear
language?
for me.
Okay.
Do you have the pidgin English in Australia, the pidgin English in Australia.
Say again.
I would like to know that if the people who live in Australia speaks pidgin English.
Pidgin English? I think
Yeah,
no, everybody
it's
speaks
like
Australian English. Just Australian English. All right? So we're gonna move on
okay.
now. Renato, please ask the question.
Yeah. Okay. And I think that you have a kind of similar situation of American people play jokes about Australian accent. I don't know if you have heard that. There is a
No.
sh yeah, there is a show that play jokes about Australian accent. But here in Brazil, play joke with Portuguese accent too. So I think that's common. You people play jokes about about Portuguese accent here in Brazil and vice versa. Okay, but I think that Australia has beautiful places like Sydney. Besides Melbourne, you have Sydney, you have Brisbane, and you have Perth too, and Adelaide. People talk about a lot about Adelaide. I'm saying that because I have some friends that love to live in Australia and don't want to come back. Yeah. So have you been visited those cities?
Yeah, we've been Sydney, and yes, that's true. There's so many people who comes to Australia just for travel or study, and they decide to stay. Yeah, met so many of those, and quite a lot of South Americans. From the cities we visited, probably just Sydney. Otherwise, I'm more kind of like I prefer to visit the nature and the beaches and stuff like that. But yeah, we did a lot of traveling in Tasmania and just pretty much the Queensland. Other than that, not really.
Yeah, and because I think that Melbourne seems to be a little bit far from other cities in Australia. I think that the geographic position that Melbourne is a little bit far from other cities. Am I right?
Well, we have it. If you're hungry, go and eat something, darling, please. Anything you find. I have a hungry 80-year-old. He actually learned how to make his scrambled eggs, and
Oh, good
Congratulations.
mother.
you can make scrambled eggs, yes. But just be careful with the fire, yeah? So yeah, no, I don't think it's like really like everything is very far in Australia. Like, you know, it's as
Yeah,
I said, Australia is bigger than Europe. And there's just like, you know, few places. So let's say when I say in Czech, if I live in Czech, and I would want to go visit my parents who would live that far, like here, my husband's, that would be like having parents living in Turkey from Czech, you know, it's like a 3-hour flight to go see them. So yeah, in Australia, in general, you just fly anywhere if you want to go see something. It's really like I'm not really into driving places when it's more than an hour. So yeah, if I have to go, if I want to go
yeah,
somewhere, it would be flying.
yeah. Yeah, because I believe that Australia has 7,700,000 square meters, square kilometers. It's like the same size of Brazil. Brazil has 80 million, 80 million 200,000 square kilometers. Yeah, so Australia is too big to. Yeah, I can imagine that's hard to visit all the beautiful place of the city. Yeah, of the country. Sorry. Yeah.
All right. Vivian is ready for a question with a question.
I think good morning there. So
Yep. My morning coffee.
I'm reading here. Is the land where Chris Hemsworth was born, right? Melbourne. So I remember I didn't go to Australia, not yet. I hope so. One of the places that I want to go before die. But when people speak about Australia, I remember usually men at work band and the expression down under. And once I met in a group, English group here in Brazil, a guy that was Australian as well. Okay, about artists, actors, actresses. What is how do you see this artistic part in Australia?
Well, I believe it's definitely better to live in Australia than Czech if you would want to succeed in that kind of field. Already that you're English speaking person is probably easier to succeed in, let's say, Hollywood or anywhere. What, darling?
Tiny shells on the rip.
Okay. And they do hear a lot of promotions about like straight away when you have a kid, you know, if you wanna the kids to become a model or act in some advertisings and stuff like that. But like personally, I never really tried anything like that or didn't get my son involved, so I would not really know.
But there shows around there here. It's culturally well accepted. How? Because I have no idea about the country. Okay, but what people
I think,
like
sorry.
to listen or something like that. What to?
Yes. Sorry
It's
to
the
interrupt.
same.
Andrea, I think what Vivian is trying to say is like in Brazil, the culture is very popular when it comes to soap operas, telenovelas. So there's lots of people who get
Yeah.
famous, and they have lots of music genres in Brazil.
Yeah.
Of course, it's a huge country, so people get very famous, and you can compare a little bit with Hollywood, with the celebrities. It's such a thing in Australia. That's what she wants to know. Like soap operas or TV series that is very popular, that people get involved. They have lots of fans and all this kind of stuff. Music, which kind of music you listen in Australia?
Yeah, probably. I'm not really I'm probably not the right person to ask this. Like I would personally not know. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of things like that happening. But because I'm not personally like Australian, so I might just not be really looking into these things.
Okay, that's clear.
What places do you would recommend to visit in Australia?
Well,
Don't
Melbourne,
live
Sydney.
to visit that place.
Definitely Melbourne, Sydney, and Queensland. Like that's what I like. No, that's okay. And I'm definitely planning to go see the Rock, which is in a desert, Alice Springs and stuff like that. But I want to probably do it already with my son. So waiting till he gets a little bit older, so he actually enjoys traveling a bit more and remembers all. Definitely Tasmania. I like Tasmania is on the top, which I would recommend to go and see. As long as you like nature and stuff, it's beautiful. And I still haven't been to Perth and Adelaide, which are probably two cities I want to go see too. Oh, and if you like the ocean, Greybury Reef. Yep, I was there twice. Always unlucky, always stormy weather. So I haven't done any diving, so I have to go there for the third time.
Were you there on the cruise ship as well? Because when I was there, I was on the ship. Were you there with me? I
think I was there once on a cruise ship. Yeah, once on a cruise ship and once when I already lived here. And both of the time it was rainy and
okay. Oh, we just lost Simone. Simone is also like She wants to ask a question. Oh, there she is. Okay, go ahead with the question and welcome. It's your first time being here.
Yes, thank you. Nice to meet you. My question is about your experience in being in a crew. So you said you have been in a crew, traveling, in the working, and I want to know what was the best and the worst experience that you have in this job, because
You
I
planning to
have
go?
some. Sorry?
Are you planning to work on a cruise ship?
No, but I would love, but I have some relatives that have worked and some of them love it and some of them hate it. So I'm kind of like in doubt if it's good or not. So I want to know your experience, but I confess that it's something that I really love to do. So
Yeah, I think definitely, I would say definitely first 2 months felt very hard. You alone, away, speaking different language. Like I didn't understand American English, I can tell you that. I started with Carnival Company. So first cruising was Caribbean, and I had like 2 weeks training. We were not even allowed to get out of the ship during this training. So like cruising in Caribbean, not being able to get out, not having any friends, not understanding the language. I've never worked in a bar
almost
before, and
torture.
I was learning everything about drinks. I could drink them, but I did not know anything else about them. Um, so yeah, it was a bit, and plus we were learning how to actually speak with Americans, because in Czech, if you go to pub, you don't talk with the waitress. You just tell her what you want, right? And she's gonna come and just tell you what you want, not having a discussion about the family and stuff. But like they were explaining us, you actually are not supposed to ask the question what they want. They're gonna tell you, but you just make a small talk and they will tell you what they want. It's almost a rude coming and asking what you want. It's kind of like rushing them and things like that. Anyway, so first 2 months, would probably regret I came there. I hated it. But then, you start slowly making friends. You get used to the work as well, which was very heavy load. Like, when I worked on Carnival and as a bar, we got paid, I think, like $50 per month, and the rest was just percentage of the sale or tips. So you need to work hard to actually make any money. You need to like, become really good. You need to be able to sell the drinks and stuff like that. So if you don't know all this and you're not used to any of that, it feels hard, and you feel like, you know what, I'm here like not making any money and don't know anything and anybody. Like really hated it. First 2 months hated it. But then yeah, you start making friends, you start making money, you absolutely love the places you visit. And I stayed doing it for 5 years because I loved it, and I left cruise ship just because I was in a relationship, and my that time boyfriend had enough and didn't want to do it anymore. But also, I would say it's very different which position on a cruise ship you do. Let's say as a bar person, most of the bars would be closed when we came to the port. So most people were off, right? But if you, let's say, housekeeping or dining person, the people used to have free food on a cruise ship. So lots of people would not go out because they wanted their free food. Um, Housekeeping has to clean the cabins no matter what port you at and things like that. So I would say some positions might be really hard to be on a cruise ship. But let's say bar, casino, gift shops, and things like that, it's pretty good. If you get used to the long hours of work and things like that, you make friends. I loved it. I loved it.
Oh, that's interesting because I thought there was a job rotation between the crew and
Okay.
everyone uh, does everything, but uh, there is specific positions, and you don't change along the trip. You just do that thing always. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You would on a cruise ships where I was working, you definitely get trained for the position you're doing and you're not changing the position. You
Okay,
might get
thank you.
promoted, let's say from a bar waitress to a bartender or things like that. But yeah, no, you don't change really positions.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
I agree with
interesting.
you,
Thank you.
Andrea. You know, Andrea, the way she's talking, it seems like she got the job just because she's beautiful. I had to work hard. I had to go through interviews. I had the experience. I had to have everything. And she just goes there, you know, I'm from Czech and I'm beautiful. Okay, you're hired. And then she had to learn everything on the
Well,
job. Come on.
I can tell you actually the interview was kind of like that. It was 45 people, I remember,
Oh my gosh, it's so funny.
getting trying to get the job. And you want a butter?
No.
I don't have avocado.
Here.
And all the people from the interview were coming like really disappointed and offered positions they were not interested or whatever. And you know, me and my friend just put it on the bread and eat it.
You're just so lucky. You have a
And
charisma, that's why.
and me and my friend, because the interview was in Prague, we went the night before and stayed in a hotel just so we don't have to struggle in the morning, the traveling. And we had a big night drinking, and my friend actually telling me all about herself. We didn't know each other that much. So she told me pretty much that she can't speak English. And I'm like, what? You know, she just had few lessons of English and she wanted to go working there. I at least had English like all my life at school and things like that. And
Oh my gosh.
so I was really worried. So I tried to practice with her for the interview, and we were drinking a lot. She was telling me all about bar because she was working actually in a bar. So she had the bar experience and I had the English, right? And then we came to the interview. Actually, in the morning when we woke up, we were so hangover that when we went
It
for
doesn't
breakfast,
surprise me at all.
yeah, so when we went for breakfast, we actually had a screwdriver instead of having just juice. We had a juice and vodka, and it just kicked us back in that mood when we were in the evening. And when we came to the interview with all these people, the main guy or directing everybody what to do actually told us she was dressed all in jeans. And she said, Americans hate jeans. It's for them like coming in a sweatsuit. You can't go like that for your interview. So we decided, okay, I go first. I speak English. I'm dressed okay. And I tell you what they're going to ask you. And you're going to put my clothes on, right? So I went for the interview all smiley, all happy because I had my funny breakfast. And yeah, like even though I had to probably for every question he asked me, I was like, I beg your pardon, can you repeat please? But yeah, we were having laughs and we had the chat and yeah, he told me straight away, okay, yes, you are hired and you hired to the bar. So for me,
You see, guys, if you have the attitude, you can go further in life.
yeah,
Okay,
so I
Andrea,
got the
sorry
idea.
to interrupt. Sorry.
Yeah.
I still would like to hear Laura. I would like to hear Daniel and Tiago because we have just 10 minutes. Andrea, as you can see, she's busy today. It's Saturday morning. She has a full day planned. So please, any of you, I'd like to hear your question. Please go ahead.
Well, I would like to know what kind of hobbies are most common in Melbourne to do, and what are the most popular sports in there?
All right, so the most popular would be probably AFL, which is Australian football.
Yeah.
Aussies are crazy for their footy. My husband is Matt Carlton, which is one of the teams. When I came to Australia, I think like third day, he made me a member. And the day when my son was born, he became a member. So my son is actually a 9-year member being 8-year-old because he became a member on a year 0. Then races, like they actually get a public holiday here for a grand final of their footy. Yeah, so that's how mad they are about it. And the same thing about horse racing. They have like Melbourne Cup here, and Melbourne has a public holiday for that day for the races, horse racing. So that's
Well,
probably like two biggest things. Yeah.
And
Nice.
besides that, I think that surfing is increasing a lot in Australia.
But not in Melbourne. That would be like Queensland more probably. Like we have pretty calm sea here. You have to drive a couple hours away to get some waves.
Yeah.
I see. Oh, thank you. How about what about the hobbies? There is something different to do in Melbourne. The
Well,
beaches usually are in Melbourne or in the cities nearby.
well, yeah, we have beach here. There's a lots of yachts around, so probably like all sorts of boats around. It's very popular. A lot of people are very into a lot of sports. I would say people have very healthy lifestyles here.
Nice.
A lot of people goes walking, running, jogging, tons and tons of home pets. Like since COVID, I would say every second household's got a dog. So yeah, we have a dog too. So that, yeah, sports and all Aussies love drinking and eating, you know.
Yeah,
And
good job.
catching up in general, yeah. As we talked, parks and barbecues or barbecues on the beach, like we have usually like along the beaches, there are barbecues too. So
Oh, really? It's common barbecue at the beaches?
not at the beach, but kind of like right behind the beach.
Okay, right behind.
Yeah, like my birthday is in February, which is usually very hot. So I usually have my birthday on the same beach every time because you have beach in front of you, you have toilets right next to next to the barbecue, and you have like a big barbecue place with lots of tables. So yeah, it's around February. It's usually like 40 degree. It's hot ass. So it would not be pleasant anywhere else than by the beach.
Nice. Thank you very much.
All right, Laura or Thiago?
Yeah, please. Hello. I'd like to ask you if you can teach us some Australian slangs. I don't know, do they speak like mate or cheers?
It sounds interesting.
Like something special in like Australian, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so they have a funny word when something is weird. They say fair dinkum. Fair dinkum.
Fair income.
Can you
Fair
write in the chat? Andrea,
Sorry?
are you able to write down on the chat so that they can recognize the words? Because for me, it's also something that I don't understand. Is it with an F?
Yes. How do I write?
Or you just spell it? F?
Well, I just write it for myself first, so I can spell it.
I have
Jack,
never heard
spell
that.
fair dinkum. How do you spell fair dinkum?
Why do you want to ask?
Because they want to know how to spell it. Is it like this or different?
No.
Can you spell it for me?
You see, it's handy to have a boy next to you,
Yeah.
right?
You know how to spell it?
And what does it mean?
It's kind of like weird in any kind of way. Usually more like in like surprise way. Like when you tell
It's a bad word.
it's not bad word.
Yes, it is.
It's not bad word.
Yes, it is.
No.
Oh, so she's teaching us bad words
It's
on
not a bad
camera.
word.
Oh my God.
It's a typical Australian
No.
word. I remember when I came across it, like when I came to Australia, and that's why I know it's typical Australian and just only Australian word. That's why I'm like, this is the first one you need to know. But yeah, they do say good day instead of like good morning, good afternoon. So good day, but it's again more, I would say the bogan. Bogan is probably an Australian word too. It's more kind of like good day, old fashioned or village way, I would say. Now everybody says just usually hi, you know, like it's very informal. Everything is very informal. It's like everywhere you use first names. Like, you know, you go for interview, you don't like in my language we use the family names, right? In Australia, It's like first name for everything, first name for your boss, first name, you meeting your bosses, you know. Yeah, it's very, very easy here.
It's
But
like a Brazilian way.
And they use the mate, yeah.
The mate.
Mate.
Okay.
And Vegemite is very Australian, which I'm having for breakfast. It's it's like Vegemite and butter. It's very Australian, and I have it with cheese.
Show again.
Vegemite.
Show us. Is this a piece of bread?
It's a piece of bread. Sorry. It's a piece of bread with butter and Vegemite. The black bit is the Vegemite.
Vegemite?
And it's kind of like a yeast extract. It's very salty, very strong flavor. But when you get used to it, it's just so good.
I would say it's like a jam, so sweet. But you're saying
No,
it's salty. Oh my
it's
God.
salty, yeah. It's true.
Okay. Okay, Tiago, please ask a question.
Oh, hello, guys. I heard that in Australia there are many venomous animals. What is done to prevent accidents with these animals?
What kind of animals? Like this, the dangerous one?
The venomous.
Oh, yeah.
The spiders, snakes,
yeah.
and etc.
Yeah, we already spoke a little bit about it. Well, in Melbourne, where I live, in a city, there's not that many. But in general, you don't want to sit on any old outdoor furniture without checking it first, because there can be poisonous spiders, which if they bite you, they kill you. Or if you're going for a walk in any places, they mostly everywhere they have warning. If you're going, let's say, for some walk, that there will be snakes or stuff like that. So just in general, look where you're walking and just make sure you don't step on one. But it's not like you being here attacked all the time with something, you know. They just live here, but they're pretty... They're not attacking, I would say. Like, you know, you would have to really step on a poisonous snake to get bitten. It's not they like looking for you around the corner. And yeah, the spiders are everywhere, but yeah, just a bit more cautious about cleaning, I would say.
All right. I thought Renato had one more question. Is that correct, Renato? Did you have a question still?
Oh, I was just, I think that that Daniel made the question that I want to do about sport
Okay.
and about surfing. I don't know if your son is being influenced by the titles that Australia is getting on competitions.
In what?
You know, surfing.
In surfing. Well, we really, as we live in Melbourne, we really not that big about surfing,
Yeah.
but he definitely loves playing waves. And I'm sure one day he might be into it, but probably living in a Gold Coast or somewhere, we would be more, yeah, no, sorry, I can't really answer that one.
The trend is be a football player, probably.
Yeah, yeah, soccer is getting really big here now. All the kids are very into soccer. So Australia
So
before
you
used to
say you
be...
soccer or football? Sorry, soccer or football?
Football is here big, but it's becoming a big soccer. Like
Okay,
all the young kids are
Football
very...
is
I
American
think
in
also because
soccer.
of all the mixture of the nations and stuff. But yeah, you want to say we're gonna be finishing soon. You want to say bye to everybody?
Okay. Bye.
Jack, thanks so much for helping your mom. You're so cute.
Yeah.
How old are
And
you?
now my husband came to for a peek, but now
Oh, I was hoping that. Nathan, we're gonna need you in the
maybe
next session.
maybe I will make him to do a session with you guys.
Yes,
Say
I'd
hello,
love that.
Nate. He's coming. He's
Hey,
coming.
Nathan.
So here is the Aussie.
Hello.
He's the
Hi. Do
Tasmanian
you
devil.
remember me at all?
Hi.
It's me,
hello, man.
Simone. I'm
Everyone
gonna need
around
you
the
in
world, say
January. You have
hello.
2 months to think about it. Andrea, tell him 2 months to think about it because the schedule is full until January. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up. It was amazing. Andrea, thank you so much. I know you're busy, mom. You're working
and I'm
full
working as a
time.
home age carer, and actually 9 o'clock was supposed to start somewhere else.
You see,
It's close by. I told her I'm
thank
going to be
you,
about
thank
10
you,
minutes
thank
late, so
you.
I'm running to work.
Yes, it was
Okay,
amazing. I
thank you
really
very
thank
much.
you. It was difficult to book you, but it was really worth it. I think everybody can appreciate it as well.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you so much, and I hope to see you soon, girl.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
you,
See
Andrea.
you.
Bye,
Thank you.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a good
Bye.
day. Thank you
It
all.
was a pleasure.